Given the downward pressure, let's say 4 to 6 weeks on this one, that would be a... All right, welcome to Talkin' Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. We're here to talk about all things investing, and in this video, I'd like to do my daily Bitcoin and Bitcoin miner update. There's an awful lot of activity going on right now in Bitcoin over the last few hours, so I want to take a look at Bitcoin, see what the price action looks like, and then take a look at a couple of the Bitcoin miners. I'll give you my thoughts on those as well. A little bit about myself. I have a background in accounting. I was a CPA. I've been working with numbers for 30 plus years, and I've been a retail stock investor for the last couple decades. So my goal on this channel is to just share some of my knowledge, and hopefully we make some money along the way. So we cover Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners quite a bit. I do a daily update at this point because so much activity is going on. If this is content that you enjoy, we would appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel, and also if you would smash the like button and please leave a comment as well. Okay, so before we get into the chart, let's just take a quick look at the big board of Bitcoin miners. This has been an extremely unusual day. The volatility has been through the roof. These stocks have been green, they've been red, they've been deep red, and they seem to be on the recovery right now. There's a couple of green stocks. Bitfarms is up 0.67, HUT is up 0.39, NE is up 2.66. Most of the rest of the miners are down somewhere around 1 or 2%. With two exceptions. CleanSpark is down 9%. If you're interested in more information on CleanSpark, I just put out an emergency video on that this morning, and in addition to that, I did a deep dive video on that recently as well. So you can check those out if you have further interest in CleanSpark. And the other miner having a down day is DigiHost. It's down 5.8% today. I will tell you, it opened green this morning. While everything was red, DigiHost was up, and then it actually reversed. We're only 2 hours into the trading day today, so I'm showing you this board right now, but I expect it to continue to do what it's done for the last 2 hours. There have been some massive changes in this board. Okay, you'll see a yellow line right here. This is where we closed yesterday. And this is the 1 hour chart. So these candles represent 1 hour. So you can see from 7 to 8 o'clock this morning, Bitcoin nosedived for an hour. It went right down to the next line of support for us, which is just under 47,000, somewhere around 46,900. So it tested that. In the next two 1 hour candles, it made back all of that ground. So I'm not sure what this activity was. It was not on extremely high volume. We had a quick violent push down. We went straight back up. You know, if you weren't paying attention, you would have never even known anything happened. So by the time the market opened, we had some serious momentum going. So despite the fact that we're basically exactly where we were when the market closed yesterday, this board has turned red. And again, it was actually much worse an hour ago. As Bitcoin was rising, all of the Bitcoin miner stocks were falling, and that trend continued for about an hour. So that hour was strange and confusing to me. It seems to be correcting itself. A lot of these are getting much closer to break even on the day. So for Bitcoin to be roughly where it was yesterday, and again, we just dipped a little below that now, but we've been hanging out at or above where we were yesterday so far for the first couple of hours of trading this morning. So I'm just going to zoom out to a little bit bigger picture look here at Bitcoin and talk about where we may be going. This line of support right here at around $45,700, we tested this once, twice, 3, 4 times. The last time being December 20th. So on this channel, we called that as the bottom. That has held over the last 9 days. We have not come near retesting this point so far. However, since we ran into this line of resistance at $52,000 just 2 days ago, you can see it has been down in a straight line since then. So on a short-term basis, there's absolutely no doubt there's downward pressure on Bitcoin. And you'll see we keep getting to lines of support and testing them, and so far they have been failing. So this last line of support that we hit this morning was at $46,900. We did immediately bounce way off of that and come back up. So we are closer actually by far now to testing this 48,300-ish line, which has now turned into resistance, but we really haven't quite gotten there to test that yet either. we're kind of in a point of limbo right now. So I want to show you this chart from the big picture, because with all of this downward pressure, we've already tested this line once. If we go back and retest this and this fails, then we'll be in a situation where this $45,700 line that we tested 4 times successfully, we may be bumping into that again. So before anything like that would happen, we would need to see a retest of this $46,700 line. And we've had a few hours solidly above that, but Bitcoin has been making quick, violent moves. So I just want to leave on the table, in general, right now, for the very short term, being the last 2 days and possibly the next couple of days, in general, there seems to be downward pressure on Bitcoin. So for those of you who watch the channel, you know that I am bullish on Bitcoin, so I remain bullish on Bitcoin. But for those of you in the crypto space, you know that these types of wild swings are extremely common. So this correction over the past few days has only been about 8%, which for Bitcoin is really a small correction. We may finish it out and get to 10%, or we may go up from here. So I'm kind of leaving all that on the table. We need to watch this for the rest of the day and see which way we break. If we can break above this green line at 48,300-ish, then that would be a very strong signal that we are heading back up. If we are retesting this line again, then we are going to see if this line holds or not. If not, then our purple line is on the table. So I just kind of want to be crystal clear that the next 48 hours seem to be very neutral to me, and I'm not sure which direction we're heading in. I'm looking at the fact that 2 days ago, we tested resistance at 52,000. I do believe we will get back there. I don't know if that's going to take a week, 2 weeks, but I do believe that's, in general, that's the direction that we're headed in. Just some short-term downward pressure at the moment, and it doesn't seem to have given up yet. With that said, let's take a look at a few of the Bitcoin miners. Okay, the first miner I want to take a look at is Riot. I'm going to start on the daily chart, so each one of these candles represents 1 day. I'm going to go back to the day that I always go back to, which is September 29th, and you will see that Riot was trading right at this purple line of support, which was basically at $25. So that line of support held up for the most part until December 16th, where Riot broke down and it got as low as $21.71. That became a new line of support. It did bounce off of that. It actually bounced off back above our previous line of support, and now it has been pulling back for the past few days. At the moment, Riot is down 2.83% on the day to day. In the middle of this short-term new line of support and this longer-term line of support that for the most part has held other than the last couple of weeks, this new line is about 10% below the previous line. That's in the $21.75 range. So when I look at my risk reward on this, we're at about $23 right now. It looks like there's some downside maybe to $21.75. You know, it could even go a little bit lower than that if this downward pressure continues. But I would argue that this is already oversold, because this line of support held on September 29th, which was the end of a pretty vicious bear run in the month of September. And you can see Bitcoin on that day, I've made a note here, was at $41,000. We're fluctuating between $47,000 and $48,000 right now. Bitcoin is much higher. So to me, Riot is in a very oversold position. So if we go from where we're trading right now back to December 3rd. Now, December 3rd was the Bitcoin flash crash. We crashed down from about 57 or 8,000. We hit as low as about 42,000, and we settled in at around 47,000, which is very close to where we are right now. We're at 47,660. So there's been some downward pressure on Bitcoin over the last few days. If it can get healthy over the next couple of weeks, I believe this is a very realistic short-term price target. Given the downward pressure, let's say 4 to 6 weeks on this one. So that would be a 50% upside for Riot stock if Bitcoin can straighten itself out over the next month or month and a half. Okay, lastly, I want to take a look at CleanSpark. It did get down to $9.80. CleanSpark hasn't been under $10 since they started dealing in Bitcoin. So this is not its all-time low, but if you look at CleanSpark since it became a Bitcoin miner, this is its all-time low from that perspective. CleanSpark's one of my larger holdings, just for full disclosure, and I did take the opportunity today on this pullback to dollar cost average in, because I don't really see any reason for today's massive downward pressure on CleanSpark versus what the other Bitcoin miners are doing. I was not able to find any news on CleanSpark. They did not put out a press release. They did not file anything to the SEC. So if I switch over to the 30-minute candles, this seemed to bottom out around 10 o'clock, and we now have the last three 30-minute candles in a row are almost identical. So we seem to have bottomed out for the day, although today has been a very strange day, and a lot of these things have taken some twists and turns. I have used this as a buying opportunity, but I will warn everybody, this is now below its long-term line of support. And it didn't just go a little bit below it, it blew right through it today. A couple of times we very briefly went a little bit under this line. And again, if I zoom out, this line dates back to basically September 29th, which, as I've mentioned, was the bottom of the last bear run in September with Bitcoin. So for reasons unknown to me, we have decimated that and gone significantly below our line of support. So to me, nothing has changed with CleanSpark. I don't see any change in their company or their story, so I will continue to dollar cost average in. If we get some news over the next couple of days that something has fundamentally changed, I will have to reevaluate my position on that. So while I'm dollar cost averaging in on this one, I do want to remind everybody this is not financial advice, and this thing has broken below a pretty significant line of support. So just to close out on the Bitcoin chart, this current 1 hour candle that we're in did get over 48,000, just a little bit, 48,066. We're now trading at 40,700-ish, so trading in a very tight range and still very close to where the close was on yesterday. So there's lots of trading day left today. We'll have to see how the rest of the day plays out. Those are my thoughts on Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. Thanks so much for watching the video, and we will see you in the next one.